Well, hello there, and welcome to my seven-part series of 7 reasons why you've been denied for a business loan. Now, my name is Steve Granados, but my friends call me Stevie G, and there's two things that I do. I'm a podcaster of the Get Money podcast where I interview my guests on how they are successful at whatever they do and how they can give my audience key instructions to implement right away for their business to take them to the next level. But most importantly, I'm a corporate lender and CEO of Next Venture Financing, where I help my clients attain loans for their business so they can expand, renovate, buy equipment, yada, 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 whatever it is. And we make it easy to apply for financing by going to nextventurefinancing.com. Now, I'm from the DC area, but now I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, where the Panthers actually right now are 6-0 for the very first time. So, congratulations to Cam Newton. Now, I've been married since 2003, no kids, one cat, and my favorite pastime is paddle surfing. But enough about me. Why are you here? Maybe it's because you've been denied at the bank or some lending source, whatever it is. Or maybe you just want to make it easier for yourself the next time you apply for a business loan. But whatever the case may be, this series will help you have a better chance of getting approved for financing the next time you apply. Now, I said before that this is going to be a 7-part series because I don't like for you guys to sit around through a whole long webinar listening to me ramble on and on about stuff. Instead, I'm a huge believer in taking baby steps. So, once you have completed one part of the series, implement it right away if needed, and then move on to the next part. So let's get started. Now, here's a typical application you will see, whether at a bank or some lending stores. So whether you are applying for credit lines, loans, advances, collateral-based financing, and so on, it's really important to know that the information that you put on an application will determine whether you get approved or denied. So by the end of this, you will know how to put accurate information to not only better your chances for approval, but to entice lenders to give you money. So what we're going to do is we're going to dissect the most important parts of this application. So the first thing we're going to talk about is company name. Now, here's a company name right here. Tequila Mockingbird Latin Bar and Restaurant is probably one of the most brilliant names that I've ever seen. It's probably one of the most top names, creative names that I've ever seen. But you know exactly what they do. They provide probably what tequilas, probably margaritas, and they obviously are a restaurant. Now they're telling their customers exactly what they do and who they are, but you'll find out that it may not be the best idea to name your company exactly what you do. So let's talk about that. So if you're just choosing a name, try to choose a basic loose version of the name that doesn't peg you into a certain industry. Now look, there's a lot of lending that has industry restrictions. Actually, scrap that. All lending has industry restrictions. There's no product out there that I've ever seen that doesn't restrict certain industries. They'll say we won't help this industry, or some lenders will say we will help this type of industry. Sometimes just because your name reflects the industry you're in could get you denied. So when it comes to financing, if you're just choosing a company name, try to choose something very general because the more specific you get, it might help your customers know more about what you do, but just keep in mind that it does sometimes make it harder to actually get money. And I'll give you a very simple example. So our company used to be called Firm Credit Solutions, and I used to get a lot of blowback on this name every time I would apply for financing for anything at all, because they thought that I did credit repair, and I was far from that. Now, I built business credit, but I did not do credit repair. But just because the word credit was in our name, it created problems for us. So, does that mean that we changed our name? Absolutely. That's why we're called Next Venture Financing now. So, it's just something for you to be consciously aware of that when your name reflects your industry, it will sometimes create problems, especially if that industry is on a restricted industry list. There's a lot of industries that fall under these restricted lists. Now, your name can allude to an industry that you are, or maybe you're not even a part of, and this can affect your ability to get approved. So these are the kind of problems that you could have just by your name reflecting the type of industry that you're in. Trust me, I can definitely give you feedback on that from personal experience. So, general consulting type names work best because nobody will deny you. Any other industry specific name very well might restrict your ability to get money with some lending sources and credit issuers. So, for example, Firm Consulting Solutions or maybe Firm Business Solutions. See, that sounds a lot better than Firm Credit Solutions, right? Because nobody was actually lending me money when I had Firm Credit Solutions. So this is the advice that we give everybody that applies for financing. Now, I'm not saying that you need to rename your company. I'm just saying that you should think about the repercussions a name could have when you're applying for business financing. This is why we dissect an application so you know what they're looking for and why they're looking for it. Now, the more general the name, the better your chances of getting money and credit to your business. Lastly, make sure your company name is consistent on all documents like licenses, state registration forms, bank statements, etc. Now, the reason why I say this is because when you're in the underwriting process, lenders are going to be looking at all these types of forms. Now, they want to make sure that your name is consistent on all forms. When it's not consistent, it's hard for them to find either licenses under your name, whether you're registered to the state, your bank statements, all that. If they can't find you, guess what? They're just going to deny you. So, for example, if I go to my state and I register my name as Next Venture Financing LLC, but on my licenses I only put Next Venture, and on my bank statements I put Venture Financing, you see it's all over the place. You don't look like a legitimate company. So it's important that you are consistent on all documents. Guys, this actually ends our first part. So if you have any questions for me, you can always give me a call. You can always email me, or if you want to go to our website, nextventurefinancing.com, I'll make sure I can answer those questions for you. If you need financing at all, I will put my shirt and tie on and roll up my sleeves, and I'll be able to help you out. So next time I see you will be on part two. So take care.